Just a little throw up on my pants. Hello, I'm Judi, the organizer and creator at Rescue My Space. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 10 organizing products that you should avoid in 2023 and beyond. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we continue, make sure you like this video, and as always, please subscribe to my channel. So if you don't know, I've been in the business of organizing for a while now, and there's been many of organizing products that I've come across. But there are a few out there that I just don't get, or maybe I get it initially, but as I used it in my space or have seen my clients use it in their space, they just don't work. So with that said, one of the first organizing products that is on my list are these guys, these hanging closet rod organizers. I hate them. One thing is they take up a lot of space, especially if you're working in a small closet. They are a no-no. Do not buy these. Plus, I don't think they're the best type of storage to use in a closet. They are flimsy, even the best quality ones. They're flimsy. They're just in the way. I've never seen one of these guys in a closet and have used it or liked it. So rather than using them in your closet, I would suggest just using bins. Adding bins to a shelf in a closet or even the floor is the best way to create storage in a closet, especially a small closet, because I know a lot of times these guys are used in small closets and again, they just don't work. But bins are a great way to add storage. They're easy to use. They don't take up closet rod space because a lot of us need closet rod space, and they're just more practical than one of these guys. So next on my list, which is probably my least or my most hated item, there we go, is the drawer organizer. So this type of drawer organizer typically sits under a sink or in cabinets under a sink. And again, they waste so much space. Outside of that, a lot of times they are made poorly, so they typically don't even last that long. There are alternatives out there that are just better quality. They're metal, I would suggest. I love a pull-out drawer, yes. But when it comes to these kind of drawers, I just feel like they don't again make a space functional. They only just take up space, which beats the purpose to organizing a space, because you need more space when it comes to organizing. And they just, I don't get it. I recently just removed some under sink cabinets in our bathroom, and I'm so happy I did. We literally were using them so incorrectly and they were just in the way. So rather than going this route, I would suggest going this route. So basically it's essentially the same thing, but just better quality. And if you don't want a drawer, which I don't typically like drawers under a cabinet, I would suggest just adding tall wall bins like the multi-purpose bins. They are amazing. I feel like they create clarity in a space without cluttering a space, and they create storage. So whenever you're organizing a space, creating a clear space and adding storage to me is ideal, and these are perfect. This is exactly what I added to our bathroom cabinets, and a world of difference. And honestly, they're in every cabinet in our bathrooms. So I feel like they're just the most inexpensive way to save space and to save money, and there's just no hassle when using it. And you don't have to worry about the drawers coming out or the drawers being flimsy or just any of that, because you just pull out the bin and use the items that are in it, and then you put it back when you're done. So the next product on my list to avoid is this condiment organizer. Yes, I understand we have a lot of condiments, we need a place for it. The reason why I cannot stand these is because they take up counter space. When it comes to the counter space in our kitchen, I would suggest only keeping out maybe a coffee machine, maybe an air fryer, just those items that you use on a daily basis, and not a condiment organizer. So if you do have drawers in your kitchen, I would suggest designating a drawer for your condiments, for your tea bags, your coffee cups, not the countertop. If you don't have any drawers, use a bin. Create a condiment bin and then put it somewhere in your kitchen, whether it's in a cabinet below or underneath or in the pantry, somewhere else, but not on that countertop. No. So the next item on my list is a folding hanger. I know these hangers, are supposed to create more space in your closet because you can add a lot of clothes or a lot of hanged clothes to the hanger, and then you remove it and then voila, you have so much space. The thing with this hanger is eventually you will probably stop using it, one, and two, the goal when it comes to organizing a closet isn't to create more space for clothes you don't wear or use or value. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this hanger promotes creating space for cluttered. Like, you're using a hanger like this because you don't have space in your closet. So rather than getting rid of your items, then you're just making more space. And once you have, let's say, 10 of these hangers and you've created more space, then what? You keep on using this hanger and creating more space for what? Another hanger to create more space. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I know where it can make sense. Maybe if you're sharing a closet, maybe if you have your tops on this hanger and maybe your bottoms on regular hangers, then visually it'll still look good. But just having these hangers, I don't know, they just don't make sense to me in a closet. So instead, I would suggest that you, of course, use a regular hanger, possibly a velvet hanger, a rubberized hanger, a hanger that is thin enough that doesn't take up too much space. Use those instead. I mean, regular hangers are great. I love a good hanger, if you don't know. And I just don't think that these are ideal for the average person. I'll say that. So the next product I would avoid are grid drawer dividers or organizers. I feel like they work, but they're not practical. And practicality is what's going to help you maintain a space. They're not practical at all. Some of them you have to like manually adjust, which is not ideal. I just don't see, I've used them in the past. They just don't stand the test of time. What does stand the test of time are drawer dividers, regular drawer dividers or drawer organizers. To me, they work. You measure your drawer, you buy the correct size for your drawers, and voila, you don't have to adjust. You don't have to worry about them falling. You don't have to worry about manipulating as you would a grid drawer divider. So yeah, I like simplicity because simplicity is practical and practicality equates to maintaining a space. So the next organizer to avoid in 2023 is this spice container. No. I think they're good if you travel a lot and you maybe want to add some spices to your food at work, maybe on the go. But if you're using this in the home, I don't think they're practical. You're gonna catch yourself never touching them because you have your spices in its own container. Like, they are just not practical. I myself have had them before. I've used it once or twice and then I was like, why am I using this? There's other ways I can transport food, honestly. There's other ways you can transport food without having this elongated item in your bag, purse, backpack. Plus, they're just not practical. They're not practical. Use your regular spice containers, change them out to something more pretty. I get it. I have those in my home. But this stackable spice container, no, we don't do that. Not practical. You're not going to use it. You're going to spend your money and you're not going to use it. It's going to sit in the back of that cabinet and collect dust. And guess what? We don't want that. So the next product on my list, which I see all the time in homes, are this type of shoe rack. Stop buying these type of shoe racks. They are not practical for heels. They are not practical for tennis shoes. They're not practical for flats, sandals. They are not practical. They slide off. The round bar is just not ideal. Maybe if I came across one that was really great quality, I wouldn't be saying this, but I have not yet. So I would always stay away from these. They're typically on the cheaper end, which is why I guess people buy them, but they just aren't practical. And a lot of times you stop using them because they stop working. So I would suggest buying a shoe rack that's more flat. I would say either just completely flat, like no openings, or the ones that are flat with slates. Like those are also practical because you can put the heel on one of the flat parts and not in the opening, and they work. I love a stackable shoe rack because you can build up vertically and you can add more shoes to that vertical shoe rack. So yeah, shoe racks are great. I love shoe racks. I love putting shoes on something. Leaving them on the floor is a no-go. Leaving them in cardboard boxes is a no-go. Adding shoe racks to your closet is a yes, but buy the right one. So the next product on my list is this rice dispenser cereal dispenser, whatever you want to call it. I see these a lot. And I get why people are attracted to them. They look cool. It's kind of like a gumball machine. Like, what? You just turn it and your cereal falls out. They're cool if you're someone who will keep it clean all the time. You'll change out the cereal. You take care of it. But a lot of us are busy. We just don't have time to maintain such a product. I don't want to say it's not completely practical, because I see how it can be practical. It does distribute a certain amount of food into your bowl. So it makes sense, but it's just not functional. This is something you have to keep out. So if you have a large space, if you have a large kitchen area, if you have a large pantry, butler's pantry, maybe it'll work. But if you don't, it becomes an eyesore. It's this large thing sitting on your countertop. Every time I see them, I see why people get it. I just don't see the point in spending your money on them. And they're typically really expensive. Of course, an alternative is a regular cereal canister. Cereal canisters are easy to use. It's just a canister. You fill it up with cereal or coffee or whatever. They're multifunctional, and you can use them or place them. You can place them in your pantry. You don't have to place them on the countertop, or, you can put them away on a shelf. Compared to this is bulky, you can't. So I can understand how someone would think they are practical. I just don't see why anyone would use it in their space. All right, so the next item on my list are cloth bins. So I'm someone who typically doesn't suggest cloth bins, but when I come across a good one, I'm gonna suggest it. I'm gonna suggest it. So these cloth bins, though, are really cheap. They become misshapen easily. They wear out. They are just not ideal in a home. I understand that the organizing industry is so big now, so a lot of people are coming out with products, but the quality isn't always there. And for these, they're not there at all. Stay away from them, avoid them. Instead, purchase a more quality one like this one or like this one. These are great alternatives, and yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but they are gonna last you longer. And that's the goal when it comes to organizing products. The goal is for them to last you at least 5 years at a minimum. So if they're lasting less than that, then they're not good quality. And when it comes to cloth bins, I typically like to suggest them to parents that have children. They are soft, they are fabric. So if your kid was to drop it on themselves or hit it, it's not gonna hurt them. Therefore, when kids are using them, you wanna make sure you're using a quality bin. So yes, don't go with the cheap option. So the next item on my list, which I see a little too often, are water bottle organizers. Why? I don't understand them. A lot of times when your water bottles sit in this, you never use said water bottle. It doesn't make organizing them easier. It actually makes organizing them even harder, because like this one, you can only organize 3, and it takes up a good amount of space in a cabinet. So please avoid them. Do not waste your money on something like this. The only option for water bottles that work the best is them sitting on their own on a shelf. That's it. So the last item on my list, of course, has something to do with babies and kids, because I have a baby. But this item you should avoid. I know a lot of you parents have this in your home right now and you're not using it, or your kid isn't using it. It's not worth spending your money on. This one in particular is $45. You know what you can do for $45? What you can do is wall mount some shelves, add some bins to that shelf, and that is it. You're probably gonna spend maybe the same amount, but the thing is, the bins that you'll add to the shelves will be larger, therefore they can place more toys in said bin. What I see with this organizer is it's never enough space for the amount of toys the child has. Therefore, everywhere else gets filled up, and this particular organizer is never used. So if you can avoid it, don't buy these. Instead, buy a wall-mounted storage solution for your kids' toys, place some bins on top of them, and then you place the toys in the bins and create a toy section, a toy area. All right, guys, that is it. These are the organizing products you should avoid in 2023 and moving forward. If you have them in your home and you're using them correctly, kudos to you. Keep on using them. If you're thinking of buying them, don't do it. Don't waste your money on them. There's so many alternatives out there that are more practical, that will create more function in your space, therefore allow you to maintain your space after you've organized it. So if you have any questions at all about any of them, let me know in the comment section below. And if you're using the items that I've mentioned to avoid in your home right now, let me know in the comment section below how you're using it and if it's still working. Please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Just pulled up to the house.